Well, hello, everybody. How's my sound? Am I crystal clear here down in the basement now? I'm inside and hopefully streaming clear to you guys. Last week we had a little technical difficulties, but we are the Preferred Lines podcast. That's Joe Idone. I'm Chad Eckert. They are always going to find us cracking beers and enjoying the PGA Tour's betting board. This week's the John Deere, actually. Look what I just noticed.
JDC, man. I love the new studio setup. So where are you at now? You're inside?
Yeah, falling apart already. Gotta get some tape up there in that corner. Yeah, oh yeah. We're real professionals here. Hashtag not experts. No, Joe, I don't know why I didn't move down in the basement earlier. I was just like kind of having fun being out in the garage, playing up the fact that I was like wearing a winter hat in the winter and sweating my
freezing cold or way too hot, right?
Yeah. Partially because this was fake and never real, and then I never really wanted to like convert my life back to being real down in the basement, and so I kind of just let it play out. But dude, I don't know if I could have been out there the last few days. It's been so freaking hot here in Minnesota, and whatever. Might as well just move inside.
Move it inside, man. Everyone's doing it. It's good stuff. In the comforts of your own home, drinking beers, talking golf with buddies.
Yes, right amongst the storage, the treadmill, and the laundry, and all that stuff. But Joe, how's your 4th of July, buddy? You did win any money? Did you win that hashtag mega profit?
Yes, we both hit Cam Davis. Let's go.
And Louis Herbert, or whatever his name is, Luca.
Yes, both doubled up on the Euro Tour, PGA Tour double. Like the rarity of that is insane to both hit that. Had a solid DraftKings week as well. Hit a couple of top 20s. It was a good week. I needed one of those. So I'm off and running now for a late summer push here in golf. We got the JDC this week, followed by the Open Championship, Olympics, Ryder Cup right around the corner. Let's make some money, brother.
Let's make some money. Did you make any on the Jock Market? We're friends of the Jock Market app. You can find it Jock MKT by searching a specific app store that your phone has. I missed out the week before, but I did catch a Cameron combo. I had Cameron Davis and Cameron Tringali, and they helped me make a little bit of a profit on the Jock Market app. I didn't see you at the top for the 3rd week in a row. Did you?
No, it's tough to top 10 3 weeks in a row. I was not up there. Gary Woodland sunk the ship, but Cam Tringali held it together for me to create only a small loss. That's the beauty of Jock Market, right? We talk about it that you can't really get crushed if you absolutely whiff on a week because, depending on how you place your guys, you're always going to have a couple of guys up there, and there's a ton of room for potential. Use that promo. If you haven't tried it yet, what are we doing here at this point? Get in there. It's a ton of fun. It's awesome. You will love it.
Oh, we got some people in the chat. We got our guy, Stewie's always in here. He's saying that I look great, or, my studio.
Thanks, Stu.
And then we got from Fran Millionaire.
Yes. What up, dude?
Business. So he's here. He says stay hot because we are kind of hot. Oh, Brian's in the chat. What up, bro?
There he is. What up, Brian?
He's a real bro, that Brian.
He's a dude. We like dudes.
All right, dude, let's get to the betting board for the John Deere Classic. I will share the screen. If you're on YouTube, you can see me showing the DraftKings betting board. I'll try to describe it the best I can for the iTunes listener. This will be on iTunes. We are on there. If you could do us a favor and, rate and review, like and subscribe. Hey, if you think we suck or you think we should do something different, email us. Or let us know, DM us. We're open on the DMs. We're trying to improve the product and make this thing a community thing. So tell us what to do.
Yeah, if you think we can improve, by all means. If you think we suck, just keep it to yourself and go watch somebody else's show. But if you are here and you enjoy it, go down right below our screen here. Hit that little thumbs up button. It goes a long way toward helping us and helping people see us. So that'd be a huge help. Thanks, guys.
Okay, Joe, the tippity tip top this week is Daniel Berger. Okay, that's cool. He's at 11-1 on this sports book. You have a couple guys under 20-1, including Brian Harmon and Sung J M. Interested in those names?
Not really. Night Sunday push by Sung Jae.
Yeah.
He actually had a pretty good week, and I was kind of thinking he was going to have a good week. I missed out on some shares on him on the Jock Market late in that IPO push, but not a whole lot of love for Harmon. I know the course history is great. I know the wedges are great, but 16-1 Brian Harmon, I'm not really here for. Daniel Berger, I think an argument could be made that there is some value there in Berger, at least at double digits. With how weak and shitty this field is in comparison to other events. That said, week before a major championship, I'm not going to get too loose. So, the pockets are a little bit flush for both of us after last week, but no sense to run to the counter and throw down a bunch of money on Dan Berger 11-1. The form's been great, just not normally. We're not the types to bet favorites, right?
No. This is a long shot season, Joe. We're about to get to those names, but before we get out of here, do you think that there's something to what you said about the top of the board here? Maybe they have it's like, shouldn't they win? Especially when you're looking at the 50-1s, where normally in a field, it's like really good players at the 10-1s and 15-1s, and then there's really still good players at 50-1. The drop off is extreme this week from the Berger Harmon. I mean, even Harmon is a stretch, but Berger, it kind of feels like, I don't know if there's stats behind the best guys in the field, like a DJ. When he comes into those shitty fields, sometimes he just runs away with it. Could we see that? Is that something that we should be concerned about?
Yeah, I think there's a large contingency that we'll get to later that's like basically 30-1 to like 90-1. I feel like they're all very similar in terms of the tier of player and the caliber of player that they are. Berger stands alone, man. Like he is a tier A1B, like A- tier is Dan Berger. And then it's a huge drop off, I feel, in my opinion, even to Harmon and Sung Jae Im. So, yeah, I mean, if you want to just say this week, I'm just going to bet my 11-1, and there's no like 11-1 on a Super Bowl outright future is a great odds. Like you're going to, you know what I mean? So there's nothing wrong with 11-1. I'm going to probably take it a little bit easier this week, just with a major championship next week. And obviously the weakness of the field factored in this week. So, but yeah, definitely a case to be made that Berger is just far and away the best player in the field. Just go bet him and write this thing off until Sunday afternoon. I can't be mad at it.
Okay. Now, the next two names that are in the 20s here, you have Russell Henley and you have Kevin Streelman. The way that they have played, they're pretty much poised as dudes that should get a win. Could it come here this week in the 20s?
I feel like there's a lot of things going very solid for Kevin Streelman right now. It's the number to me. Like, I feel like there's some guys in the 50s that we'll get to that aren't far behind him, but a great wedge player. The course history is spectacular. Where do you kind of sit on those two guys? I'm not in on Henley, but where do you stand on either one of those? You in on them?
Like I said, I mean, like the drop off between Berger and these guys is so far that you might as well get a little money's worth with the 40s and 50s, like you were saying. So I might not go there on the betting board to an outright win. I may look more on DraftKings to use Russell Henley or Streelman in my lineups, just therefore save maybe $1,000 and you don't have to dip into the 6K range for your last guy on DraftKings. You're the DraftKings expert, though. You're the one that's dominating my league every single week and winning hashtag mega profits of hundreds of dollars. Do you think that's kind of a good strategy if you wanted to get a piece of Henley or Streelman to do that on DraftKings or Jock Market?
I do. I think the Streelman and Jock Market will be nice. I wonder about his popularity. This has been my best DraftKings year ever, by far. So it's for me, it's like it's the last thing that I do, which I think is helpful for me because I get my outrights in place. I do all my research. I grind all week at this stuff and try to isolate my targeted guys. Then I move on to the Jock Market IPO, and then it's like, I'm laying in bed Wednesday night, and it's like, let me just build a couple lineups. Like you had to text me last week, don't forget to put your lineups in, and I ended up winning the league again. So it's like I'm on a good run there. I hope to continue it. But you know why it is. It's because you're hanging out with that Rick Run Good guy on Wednesday nights, and it's just kind of just rubbing off on me.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, he's a real expert.
The run good is just running through the computer waves right into me.
I don't know. Well, you better be watching that show. It's what time is it? Like 8:00 Eastern time when it starts.
8:15 Wednesday. See you guys there. Hopefully.
Yeah. Rick's given names out. Do you think he's given any of the names out in the 30s this week? Look at Cameron Davis, the champion last week, the winner of the RMC, the Rocket Mortgage Classic. He's here. Cameron Davis. Could he follow it up with another win? Back-to-back Davis?
Oh, that's tough. But what a finish, though, for our guy. Like, basically needed Eagle Birdie to get himself into a playoff and did it. Like, when does that ever happen? The chip-in Eagle was incredible. I was going nuts in the hotel room up in Orlando. Then he followed that up by sticking a 9-iron to like 5 feet. And then was like stones, nails in the playoff. Like every drive down the fairway, every shot coming in, every wedge was close. He was great. I was happy to see Neiman exit early because I was worried about Neiman, even though like I wasn't going to be mad if Neiman won because I felt like he should have won going bogey free. That's insane. I saw Luke tweeted it out like, don't think we'll ever see that happen again. A guy go bogey free for 72 holes, get into a playoff, have his first bogey. See you later. Here's third place. And Troy Merritt was just there to ruin the day, but Cam Davis did it for the community. A ton of people were on him, so it was awesome. But I'm not going to bet him to go back to back just yet.
Right? Yeah, and especially
we've been talking about him all year. Like it was like a running joke. Like, are you going to bet Cam Davis? Like we're like, of course we're going to bet Cam Davis. Like he's going to win. We saw it. So it's good to see that come to fruition.
They hung that 125 on it, so it's kind of like you just an auto bet. That's why you put $1 on it. That's why I'm a dollar better. I mean, it makes I don't bet $1 on every single person, or it suggests to bet on everybody. But at the same time, for 125 to 1, like so risky, knowing it's 125 to 1 that they are a long shot. Vegas doesn't respect them, so therefore, you put $1 on it, you get a little bit of coverage there, and it could save your week, and that's what it did. We've been on Davis though. It's because he's good at golf. He's tall and swings beautifully, smashes the shit out of it. He's one of the next best Aussies to come out. He's young and fresh, hip now with it. Wow. So shocking there. There is a guy at 125 to 1 this week, same price on DraftKings that I'm interested in that I'll tell you about in about 5 minutes here. But before we get to that, let's go back to the betting board. Any more interest in some of these names? Like there's a name here with some interest that who's in the chat here just asked about Zach Johnson from Fran Millionaire. He's asking, is this the same guy? Zach Johnson? Should we bet him?
So surprisingly, I was looking a little bit into Zach Johnson. So Fran Millionaire, first of all, the wedges have been really good for him. We know, thank you, Stewie. Let the people know. We know that he can is a great putter and he can get very hot, which is obviously what has won this tournament, right? Gaining a ton you're going to need 25 under likely to win. But let me run through Zach Johnson's sort of course history here for you, which is if you're a course history truther, which I have kind of become to a degree this year, listen to this. 37th last year. Terrible. Write that off. That's the worst you're going to hear. 16th, 5th, 34th, 3rd, 2nd, 1st, 3rd. Like the guy has been nothing short of dominant in Illinois. I know that I believe he's from the Midwest. I'm not sure if it's exactly here, but I think that's why he plays it every year. Obviously has an affinity for it. The course is not long. It sets up tailor-made for sort of his strengths. But I just think the price is a little bit short there. What did you have it at? Was it 40 to 1?
I mean, this book's got it at 35.
Yeah, can't do that. There's a couple other guys I like better to sort of break through. I just feel like he's kind of on the tail end of his best golf. Now, if we're going to line up and bet Stricker, and we've seen these older guys sort of have a resurgence with Bubba last week and Phil, maybe he has something left in the tank.
I mean, yeah. We're in the Quad Cities. That's, it's basically right on the edge of Iowa's eastern border and Illinois' western border. And on my family's from just on the Iowa side of that. So my dad's side of the family. And I've been down there. I'm not even sure if my cousins might be going to the tournament they have in the past. So that is a Zach Johnson area. I don't know if he's born in Iowa. I'm pretty sure he is. So therefore, we like those narratives. Yes. Joe, I have fun things coming up on my Twitter page. I'm at Edina Realty on Twitter. tomorrow I've come up with this concept of building 20 lineups in DraftKings. I've taken the 20 most popular narratives that everybody talks about each week, and I'm building a lineup that correlates exactly with that narrative. So therefore, on Sunday, when we look at my results, we can see how did I have this combo of names, and was it recent form team that won, or is it all guys with H as last names, or is it stats based or gut based? Which of my 20 teams based on the narratives will rise to the top? And one of the narratives is regional, hometown, cooking, of course, that kind of whole thing.
It's gotta be.
Yeah, so obviously Zach Johnson's on that. And yes, you know what? We're going to have to talk to our friends at Jock Market and get on that. Iowa is not able to play on Jock Market, so that's not our friends in Iowa can't do that. So that's
Listen, it's not our friends at Jock Market's fault. I can tell you that. I've been in talk with them. They are pushing every state to sort of make this happen. I believe 36 of the 50 states now it is completely legal in.
But when we first started, it was like
all the necessary paperwork or whatever you have to do to like do it in all 50 states. We're just waiting on. You need to elect better people there in Iowa. It's really what it comes down to. Go get out there and vote. If you see Jock Market on the ballot, vote yes.
They got real sports books in Iowa, and they don't need the Jock Market app. They don't even need that. They can go bet real money. PGA touts in onto the first time winner narrative this week, which there's this PGA Splits 101 guy that tweets out some trends, and he tweeted out some trends about that. First time winners here have been like pretty common, so you can go look at that guy's Twitter account.
Yeah, and even guys like that haven't really have any course history. Like Fratelli showed up here, not last year, sorry, because last year was canceled, but he showed up here the first time and won. I believe Bryson did the same thing. Spieth, I think, first time winner here. So yeah, I got a couple for you, guys that are going to break through this week. I know it.
What about we can get out of this section and go to the 40s because we can talk about Noren's. He's going to be fine, and Siwoo's got the motivation. He's not playing at the Open. We know all those things. What about Maverick McNealy as the guy to first time win? Could he be the one?
He was close. He wasn't. And he still might make the card. I just haven't pulled the trigger on him quite yet. Noren, I thought about awesome last week. I've been kind of on him in the Jock Market for a little while, so he's definitely been trending well and been playing really well with the short game. Finally, the putting came around last week. Made some interesting comments about how like his wedge play and how he kind of figured something out, how to not spin it quite as much. But you're paying 40-1 because of last week's result when he should be 80-1. So totally. I'm not gonna buy it in now at this point. So yeah, I moved on past both those. What about, did you do McNealy?
Oh yeah, I'm on McNealy.
Okay, I might get there.
I mean, I just think that there's skill there. The 45 is very stupid. It should be definitely more than that. But he has the ability he has that gene, the little killer gene a little bit, and he's motivated. His wife is a PGA or LPGA player, or his girlfriend. I'm not sure if they're married, but the whole thing, like, they care about winning. Like, Maverick McNealy's not there for the money. We know that because his dad is a billionaire. So Maverick McNealy is there for trying to prove that he can win on the PGA Tour. And at 45-1 in this field, like, I feel like it's not necessarily fair, but it's fair enough for me to take it. I'm waiting to see if it drops to 50 before I lay the hammer on it. But at 45, I'll be all right with it. Maverick McNealy.
Okay.
Is it Seamus Power, the one that you're trying to peg as the first time winner? Because he's here at 45.
It's Doc Redman, Dad.
Well done.
Come on. Okay. Doc Redman's 50-1. This is his week. This is Doc's week.
Is it?
Listen, the 50-1, you are getting that. He was 50-1 last week in a much stronger field. I think that you're only getting that price because of a poor miscut where he lost 2.1 strokes putting last week. You have a 55 right there on DraftKings. I would grab that. The putting has really flipped for him. He had gained strokes putting in the 6 previous events before he lost last week. The approach play has returned 5 starts in a row with positive strokes gain in the approach category. 10th in approach overall in the field. The proximity with these wedges has been fantastic. He's got to roll in some putts, but he really is like Mr. Birdie Fest, basically. Anytime the strokes gain, when I looked at by difficulty that the course played on, When it plays really easy, Doc is tremendous. He's almost a stroke per round. Other than that, medium and hard, he's not great. He's about level the field. Bent is the only surface in which he gains strokes putting, 55-1. Doc, let's go. This is it, right? This is the week. Like, look at this field. He's going to top 5 here. He's going to top 5.
Well, he's the type of player similar to Tom Hoagie. So my friend on the Fantasy Golf Pod, Eric Martins, loves Tom Hoagie because he plays golf at a place that Tom Hoagie used to play at. Either way, I've been hearing about Tom Hoagie for a while, and Tom Hoagie's really good at Birdie Fest too. And there's a mentality behind that where you go for every pin and you can't play smart because you're so aggressive and it's boring to play smart. So like maybe Doc has that in his game where it's not, he doesn't want to plot around and take, par to have that one time to have a chance at birdie. Same with Hoagie, where they just fire at every pin. So I'm down for some Doc in a birdie fest, especially here.
I honestly do. Like, I genuinely feel like, and I talk about Doc a lot, so I'm obviously a homer. So factor that in that I'm not exactly unbiased in this selection.
This is like the Cleveland Browns.
His betting number is usually not, even though I take it a lot, is not reflective, I think, of his chances to win. Okay. I think that there's a popularity factor to him, which we don't always get true odds on Doc. We're usually paying a significantly juiced price because we know a lot of people are going to want to bet him. Anyone that looks at Fantasy National and runs a model, they know he's going to pop because he does everything statistically pretty well and has for a while. But this week, I honestly feel like this is a very fair number with these guys that he's priced around. Glover, like I think that he's as talented as any of them, and I think that he's hungry for a victory the week before a major championship. He's one of these guys that has to circle this tournament and say, this is an opportunity. This field sucks. Let me go beat Dan Berger and a couple of other guys who may be looking past this week in trying to board a plane early over to Royal St. George's and go get my victory, secure my tour card, get the FedEx Cup points and all that comes with that, get in WG. Like it's a big opportunity for a guy like Doc, and I think it's a fair number.
There's 2 other gentlemen in the same section of 55-1 that have that opportunity to treat this like a major, to come in and take their first win on tour. Doug Gimmett's 55-1. You also have Harold Varner III at 55-1. Kind of fit the course, kind of have the motivation. Do we go there too? I mean, it's $2. You win $100.
Yeah. I did take Harold Varner. Actually, I didn't get him at 55. I got Harold Varner, I believe, at 80-1. Earlier today.
Well, that's nice. Okay.
So Harold at 80, and my other guy in this range is I'm going back for the 3rd week in a row to Hank Lebioda. This is like I feel like I'm kind of beholden to Hank Lebioda at this point because he's won me money in the top 20s back-to-back weeks. He's given me a nice Sunday sweat. I honestly thought on Sunday that he was going to be the long shot guy to do it for me and not Cam Davis.
Dude, he was a negative number on the live board.
Putted that par 5, and I'm like, oh, he just left that first one so short. And how do you leave the one short on 18 as well when you know that you got it? So it was disappointing. He was on the wrong side of the pin, but it doesn't change the fact that with wedges at around 100 to 125 yards, he's one of the best players in the field right now. He's gaining strokes putting. He's gaining strokes on approach. He's hitting a lot of fairways, which I think is going to go a little bit overlooked this week, the importance of not being in the rough, playing out of the fairway. If you want to make birdies, which this course requires for success, you have to do it from the fairway. It's particularly you get preferred lies a lot of times. If they play those type of conditions, ball in hand always helps you make more birdies. It's just going to be huge this week if you're going to shoot these 6, 7, 8 under rounds to be in the fairway. I got Lebioda at 66 and Varner at 80.
Okay, so then if you want to find a fairway, you want to find Ches Reavie on your card. He's 55 too.
Did you do it?
I didn't do it at 55. I think I have a 75 on Ches.
Okay.
Felt right.
Talk me into Ches. Why?
Just based on the fact that Brian Harman is mini Ches. They're the same human being, basically, and he's 20-1, whereas Ches is 55-1. I feel like they have the same games. They could come in here and play the exact same way. Granted, based on how they've performed in the past, their past stats would dictate, yes, Harmon has a little bit better chance of winning, but the course sets up for Ches. Feels like a couple weeks ago, there's a course where Ches won on tour that's kind of similar. So, I mean, I don't know. I liked Ches. I just liked all these 55s that kind of feel like this is their time. They know when they come to certain courses they can't win. Ches knows he has a chance here, so I'm into that.
Yeah, he's turned it around too. Absolutely. He played pretty well a couple of weeks ago. He got himself into the U.S. Open. He qualified there. He played reasonably well out. So, yeah, it makes some sense.
Now, I've seen some love for Norlander, for Vegas, for Hostler's recent form. There's other names here. Is there any long shots that we're trying to get in on? Is this the long shot range, or we need to go even longer?
Well, here's one guy I want to mention real quick that I got at 80-1. So not quite 100, but I still think 80 is in consideration for long shot territory.
Mm-hmm.
Scott Stallings.
Okay, why?
You look at Scott Stallings and you think that he's like the idea of just the look behind him is that he's just a bomber. He's actually not. His approach play has been very solid lately. Top 10 in the field when I sort of looked at it. Good course history as well. 18th, 5th, 16th in 3 of the last 4 years. A couple of top 20s there. Yeah, you're laughing at me, but I did bet Scott Stallings 80-1. Look, there's no we could laugh at anybody's picks, but there's not much difference. You're splitting hairs between Stallings and Vegas and Wawrinski and Hostler. Like, if you're going to bet one of these guys, you've got to sort of find a narrative for it. So, yeah, decent course history. The approach play has been solid. The wedge game has been good. Why not?
Okay. Yeah, just something about Stallings on a Sunday morning. If he's in contention and I've got the ticket, I've got no confidence he can come home. So
I know. And that was like
a
the
hedge
big thing. Going back to that is I think why a lot of us were on Cam Davis is because we felt that he had what it took to win. And which is why, like I said, last week, for instance, when I took Denny and Lebiota and these other guys at 100-1 plus, I did the top 10 and the top 20 on them, right?
Makes sense.
So I sort of hedged myself because I wasn't sure they had what it takes. Cam Davis has always been a guy for me that I'm not betting a top 10. I'm betting him to win because I think that if he's in contention, and we saw that he has a clutch factor to him. We saw him do it at the Australian Open when he took down Spieth and Jason Day. The dude rises to the occasion, and there's certain players that you can feel that. And there's certain players that may be wise to do a top 10 and top 20 on just to sort of hedge yourself out. And Stallings may be one of those guys.
And I have that feeling about the GIM and HV3. Granted, they haven't done it yet, but I feel like they could be in contention, and I wouldn't be shocked if they have that I'm gonna take control of my destiny moment versus a wishy-washy other name, maybe I'm not so confident in a Wawrinski or a Norlander to do that in this range. I don't know, but you're paying a little bit more for those names. Do you want to go further down into the hundreds, or are we going to find my name there, the one that I think could perform as this week's Cameron Davis?
Who's your guy? Tell me who it is.
It is Matthew NeSmith.
Okay.
Now, there's a reason we're getting 100 here and not a 55, and he isn't in that group of names like the GIM and the Doc, and he should be. He had the stats last year. He's had the finishes. He has the narratives and the lovely stuff about his wife and the RBC Heritage course or whatever he proposed to her, and he was going to win there, and all this stuff about Matthew NeSmith. We've been hearing it for months about how his iron play is hot and great, has the ability to get there. The thing that's held NeSmith back is his putter. So that's everybody pretty much that has really good skill on the PGA Tour, i.e. Morikawa and JT and those guys. Not comparing NeSmith to those names by any means. The guy's already 28 or 9 years old. It's older than those people. But at the same time, Matthew NeSmith, he's got it on paper. So he could show up to this type of event, put it all together for 4 rounds, or he could get it together for 2 or 3 rounds and realize, hey, this is my moment and opportunity. And I think that he has that in his game to ratchet up to win and to pull it together, take it home. So at 7,200 on DraftKings, at 100-1 here, if you can find him at 125-1, the same number that you could get on Davis last week. So I'm into Matthew NeSmith.
Okay. I like that. My guy at 125-1 this week is my boy Ryan Armour. going right back
course.
there. Look,
Cool.
really good wedge player. He has decent course. I'm sorry, he doesn't have decent course history here, but he has decent recent form coming in. An eighth a couple of weeks ago at the Palmetto. The big thing for him with me is he's second in the field, basically in driving gain, which fairways. So he's going to give himself plenty of opportunities from the short grass to get himself in there for birdies. And he's just got to putt well. And he has these sort of spike weeks where he does. Like last week at the Rocket Mortgage, miscut. He lost 2.7 putting. The Travelers the week before made the cut but finished in the bottom half of the guys who made the cut, lost 2.3. The week before that, he gained 5.8. So, like, he has the ability to sort of get hot with the putter. One of these times, if he's in the fairway enough, if he's got enough wedges in his hand, he's going to give himself plenty of opportunities this week. He's got to get through the sort of cut line on Friday and give himself a good early number to, I think, get going. But we've seen him close it out in a short course. I believe he won at the RSM. So why not? Armor,
Well,
125 to 1.
And he's a Midwest guy. He landed on my narrative team of region area.
You got it, buddy.
There's not many people from the Midwest playing in this tournament. Let's see. Shank is someone that popped for me on a couple of things. He's at 100 to 1. He feels like a name that we've been trying to say and give credit to for doing things. So maybe this could be his chance to show up and shine. Vincent Whaley, he's still doing things. He hasn't gone away yet. So maybe we keep going there. Maybe not outright. Anything else? Should we get out of here?
So one thing I wanted to mention, the fall from grace of Cameron Champ is like seeing him down here with these names is pretty astonishing. Like he's down here with Kadira and Danny Lee and Roger Sloan. Like I know that this isn't a great setup for his type of game, but the guy won twice basically in a season before this. He was one of the new like up and comer guys. He's shown the ability to get a hot putter. He's shown the ability to compete in major championships at the Masters. Like it just seems like his name really like jumps off the board at me at 125 to 1 because you just never quite know when he's going to pop. But he has a skill set and an asset that no one else in the field probably has. So it's hard to really quantify like if he can get that going and working in his favor. You know, his form's been terrible, I know, but it just seems like he doesn't belong in that range as a guy who's won twice in the last 3 years.
Well, dude, I like said it last week. I was ready for his boom week because we know he goes on these busts, and then he booms. So it happens for Cameron Champ. Now, is something off with him overall in like a sense that we got to give him time and give him space because this is something that's lingered now more than just a couple tournaments in a row and he can find it on the range and figure it out. I think it's a little more than that. Maybe it's a little home life. I don't know what's going on or what. I just think that there's it's avoidable to me. So I don't, and I love Cameron Champ, and I was on him last week because I thought, bomber narrative week. Bryson wins, and this is a Cameron Champ course, so let's do it. And he just can't putt worth shit, so he just can't save himself. So I'm probably off of that.
I know. As much as another one that randomly is like really down there and just names, TPJ. I don't know. Ted Potter Jr. seems like when you throw,
he's got to make his money.
John Deere Classic, it wouldn't like totally surprise me because he gets red hot. Top 20 at the Valspar, where I think he was in one of the final groups on Sunday until like a late fall. Competed at Pebble, so like these shorter courses where you can kind of wedge it in are kind of in his wheelhouse. With just 225 to 1, like maybe worth the top 20 on TPJ.
I missed a question from Stewie about Aaron Wise, who I like. I like Aaron Wise, but I couldn't believe when I opened the DraftKings pricing that he was $9,200, and I mean at 45 to 1. I just find different names I'm more confident in, but I mean I can't really talk you out of it. Maybe.
Yeah. Marty Laird. I saw a contest about question about the Desert Fox in there. You never know with him, man. It could be his week. Wouldn't surprise me. Like the approach play has been fantastic in a couple of random events, like the PGA Championship, for instance. So we'll see. Oh, Siwoo.
Yeah, Siwoo too.
Give me your take on Siwoo. I want to hear your take.
Now, there are people that will come into a tournament like this after declaring they're skipping the Open in order to focus on the medal of the Olympics. So that's what's happening with Siwoo, and he's going to show up to this event, you would think, with some seriousness and maybe trying to pretend like this is a dress rehearsal for this Olympics. So, I mean, we know that Siwoo needs to be taking it seriously to have a chance. So that's a reason to do it.
I know. The thing that worries me about Siwoo is I feel like he has to really remain in contention for such an extended period in order to sort of get that victory. Like when the things start going wrong, and I noticed this last week because he was in my DraftKings, like my lineup last week. I did 2 lineups. I had like 609 points. It was unreal. Like in Siwoo was my worst player. He finished 58th. All my other guys were like 1, 2, 2, 4, 15. Oh, like if he could have came through, I would have won like 10 grand last week. But he was right there. At one point, he was in second, like on Saturday when I looked, and things just start going wrong. And there's almost like I don't want to knock him and say there's like a give up factor, but there's like
we go home now.
I'm not going to win. Like it's not about like securing 20th place money for Siwoo, which would have helped me a lot if he could have just finished 20th and not imploded on Sunday. But like there's a I don't give a fuck factor. Like I'm here to win. You mentioned the Olympic stuff, which is huge. Like obviously avoiding going into mandatory military service and probably derailing your entire career. I don't know that anyone's come back from that and been successful. It's got to be weighing heavily on him right now. So how focused is he? I don't know. Has a win rate, though, that just far exceeds anyone else in that range. When you're talking Noren, Wise, Power, Kazire, McNealy, like Siwoo has victories that these guys would kill for. So, yeah, I can get behind it. He might be where I go off the top of the board, but you just have really, like, if he gets 6 back on Saturday, it's like over. Like,
be careful.
It's over for him.
Yeah. And this podcast is over, actually. Hopefully it continues to be long shot season, and you're throwing $1 on those long shot 100 to ones, and you're just cashing it and loving it and having fun, because that's what we're trying to do. We're not trying to take this seriously and bet a lot of money and have our wives tell us to stop. So if you have a problem, you can call 1-800-GAMBLER or whatever the number is and get some help and stop watching us, because this is just for fun. And thank you for watching. Let's have a nice week, and let's make some more money, right, Joe?
Good luck,
See you Wednesday night.
Peace.
See you
Cheers.
on the Jock Market Power Hour.
Later.
See you over there. Peace out. Help. Peace out. Thank you guys. Oh my gosh, all the chatters. You guys are awesome. Peace out.